Have you described the nature of yourself to the relations of your relationships? My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today's topic is defining terms. One of the things I once witnessed in the field of things we can become aware of, an ever-evolving thing, is that, what you define as friendship and what I define as friendship may be two completely different things. What you define as monogamy and what I define as monogamy may be two different things, right? Someone may think that you could have an emotional, mental, sexual, or spiritual affair with another person. And monogamy means that in the four quadrants of being, there's a layer of loyalty that shows up, and that loyalty looks like XYZ. And some may feel that, if you didn't have sex with someone, you're being loyal, or. And so when you come together to have an experience with a person in the nature of a title of relationship, and you don't define terms and you don't clarify, it's possible that one or more people in the relationship may be dissatisfied with the experience. Heather Feather often tells people, I'm never going to call you. I mean, if you're friends with me, you've likely heard from me the words, I'm never going to call you. I'm not going to call you. And likely if you told me hey, can you call me? I'll go, no. I don't know that I've always, for 5 decades, been able to be that clear about it, but it's not what I'm going to do with my time. It's not how I want to walk in my life. And if you love me and you love phone calls from people you love, is it more important to you that you rewrite my character and have me play a role that appeases how your ego wants to receive me as a friend or a family member or a person in your life? Or what is love? And how do we love one another? If you love someone, do you let them be themselves? Are they free? The people you love in the river of your life, are they in a prison of your definition? I experience a lot of things that happen in relationships, romantic relationships, that I consider to be overwhelmingly oppressive. You know what I mean? Examples are, we are responsible for ourselves and our character, And so often, if you have a partner that struggles with jealousy, which is difficult and a challenging thing, and I've had teachers in this life remind me, that can be part of the human condition. And it makes sense. We don't have to judge it or attack it or make it a bad guy. But if you struggle with jealousy, you are having an issue with being in what could be considered a secure attachment style, regulated state, healthy way to relate to another in a relationship. And that's going to be your work. It's not someone else's job to make you not jealous. And jealous people often are like, I'm jealous, you better not, blah, blah. And they'll give you a whole list of ways you need to go live to deal with their dysregulated, unhealthy state. And it's oh, this isn't my job. I'm sorry you have this struggle. Heather has had a lot of anxiety, I'm learning, in this life. And, I'm sure I've had lovers in this life that are I've shown up as anxious attached. I've shown up as avoidant attached. I've definitely done some fleeing in this life as well. I really take a holistic look at who's Heather being in. There are ways I run away from things. I'm bye, farewell, Ferdinand, And there are ways in which I can be anxious attached or have expressed that. And I work to be secure attached when I choose to get in relationship with someone, because if I love someone or if I want to have a lover, I want them to experience a regulated, healthy person. Me having anxiety is not their problem. And if I get anxious when I go somewhere, I'm the one that knows, I'm the one that can figure out what is going to cause the anxiety to quell. I'm the one that knows myself best. That's not my lover, my friend, my family member's job to regulate me or to cause me to not be anxious. There's a lot in the way we relate as humans where we are projecting our own work on someone else. That's your job to do. And it's okay to define terms of, anyone you're going to be in a relationship, I love you. I support you through your shadow and your light. I do say all the time, we love as is. And there's no such thing as a perfect person coming into any title of relationship with any of you. If you're at Earth School, if you're in a flesh costume, the work is not done. there's evolution work to be done. And so Heather Feather constantly is taking a deep look at the self to go like, what's your evolution work? Are you a secure attachment style? Are you healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? I'm constantly working on this lady to make sure, because I want to be honest and authentic, which means to me that I want to be love, because I think that is the truth. And in order to be that, that includes the self. And I get to hand myself to others in an honest, regulated, whatever state. But part of that is being honest. So I can tell people I've told people throughout my life, I don't like to be on the phone. And often what they hear is, don't ever call me. And that sentence has never come out of my mouth, ever. But I've watched lots of minds take what I said and watch their brain and the way they respond to me. And what shows up in the field is, I can't call you because you said you're never going to call me. And it's like, that's not what I said. Like, you can make sentences for Heather all day, but if they didn't come out of my mouth, that might not even be what I think. You know what I mean? You may think that I'm judging you, and come to find out, I may be praying for you every single day. You know what I mean? Like we can make up stories all day, but when somebody defines terms to you, when they say, and I let people know this because I am neurodivergent, I have a lot of special interests, I have a lot of purpose. I didn't go through all of this. I didn't chew on a million hells and infinite darkness to not come shine the light. I've got work to do here, and it's going to take time, attention, and focus for me to do the work I as a soul came to do. It requires my attention on it. It requires my organization. Plus I'm doing all this other stuff, jobs and healing and blah, blah, blah. And me saying I don't want to be on the phone never means I don't like you, never call me, it's get away from me, or like I'm above you, but the mind, when people define terms, can often go into shutdown because the ego chooses to reject. You don't tell me what it is. I tell you who your character is and what it is between us. And it's like, that's a tricky way to love people. Like, there are a lot of things offered in this realm that are disguised and dressed up as love, and they're not what I'm not the saint of all knowing, but if you're talking to Heather Feather, that does not look like love to me. That looks like something else, masquerading as love and pretending like it's love. Love liberates, love expands, love, is freeing. And I watch people in relationships, often feminine principle people that are constantly trying to character change a masculine principle dynamic in their life when in a romantic relationship, just constantly like complaining about the men in their life and then saying how they need to be. And I'm going to say again, we love as is. And if you don't love the character that's in your life, the place to look is always here. Like, it's always here. How does this feel? How does it feel to be me? Heather thinks way too much and way too often, thank the gods, about how I'm going to feel when I take my last breath. Will I be grateful for the woman I've been? 100% right now, I will be grateful for the woman I've been. And I've had to do a lot of uncomfortable, deeply vulnerable, deeply risky, deeply scary, terrifying things that have led to abject rejection. People just slapping my heart out of my hands as I try to hand it over. People assuming when, it's often also occurring in this realm where sometimes an angel is coming to assist you and you're so committed to believing that love never shows up the room that you push it out the nest and break its leg. It's like, things are not always what they seem. So when we define terms, when we clarify, when we communicate, when we go, what does friendship mean to you? Heather Feather will tell you point blank, I'm not your extroverted friend. I'm not the one that's going to call you. I am very busy. I am never bored, and I am never lonely. I am often alone, but the room is full. I work with a lot of ally spirits, so I'm never lonely. I got tons of stuff to do and lots of things communicating at all times. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean never call me. It doesn't mean XYZ other thing that we've made out about what that means. So where are you defining terms for people in your life, for your lovers, for friends, for family members, so that you can say, this is me. And it doesn't mean this, and it does mean that. Heather works to be as clear as she can, and still it's like, I guess I need to define more terms so we can be clear. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. Amun.